All right, happy Tuesday, everybody. So, thank you so much for watching my first episode of the I Failed series. I've already filmed 3 more, and so the next episode will be coming out very, very soon. Today, in the theme of the I Failed, I wanted to take a moment and break down the cost of a 50% contract versus a 100% contract. And I'm doing this in a way that I haven't done it before. So if you think you've seen a video of me breaking down the commissions and comparing it, you haven't seen this, because I'm taking it one step further and allowing you to tell me what your thoughts are about it once I'm done breaking it down. All that and more today on Final Expense Telesales. If you are just now finding this channel, my name is Dana Neeson. I run a telesales team for Tailored Legacy. We sell final expense insurance over the phone with just one carrier. My job is to help you have stronger, more sophisticated sales conversations. Today, I'm going to break down some numbers. And it's not just the numbers, but some of it is going to be like the cost of some intangibles that I'm not sure we're going to be able to put an actual dollar value behind. Maybe I'll make something up on the fly. But I hope you find this video and take it for what it is, which is I'm going to try to be as unbiased as possible, although it's going to be really hard for me to not be biased towards a free lead 50% model, because that's what I live and breathe. But I do think I have a pretty good ability to be able to look at things from a broader perspective. And then, of course, open the conversation so that you can tell me where I fell short. If I missed something, I definitely want to hear from you about it. So we're just going to break this down. And that way, if you're trying to decide, should I be a broker who offers lots of carriers at a larger contract, or even someone that just offers one carrier at a larger contract and buys their own leads, it's the same thing as what a program like ours would provide. And you really can't even compare the program that we provide versus other companies that offer free leads at a reduced commission offer, because I think we take things a couple steps further. So I want to lay that out, provide a real good comparison on all different variables that I haven't even yet covered before. So we're going to start off by just using the most common example of a 12-month annualized premium of $1,000. We're not even going to take the 75% advance into consideration here, because it's a 75% advance both places. So if we know that variable is exactly the same, I'm just going to pretend like it doesn't exist at the moment. So we have $1,000 that we're both starting with for AP. And we're also going to assume that on one side you have a 100% contract, and on the other side you have a 50% contract. There are variables in commissions depending on the carrier, the type of policy, form of payment. We're not getting into that. We're really keeping it simple, okay? So 100% versus 50%. That's where we're starting. On the 50% side, we have no cost per acquisition or the out-of-pocket expense for the agent. On the 100% side, you have to account for cost per acquisition. And if you're unfamiliar with that term, it's really easy to understand once you break it down. So let's pretend that you buy 100 leads and your cost per lead is $10. So, and these are just online internet leads. And the cost for those 100 leads for out of pocket is $1,000. Now, a typical good conversion rate for telesales, selling final expense over the phone, because a lot of them you won't even ever get on the phone, we're going to call it 5%. Okay, 5% is a good overall conversion rate of the total lead purchase. Now, if that's the case, if you close 5 out of 100 and your investment was $1,000 and you close 5, call it for 5,000, that's a great profit, right? But we're not talking about that. We're talking about what goes into that. So if the lead purchase cost you $1,000 and you closed 5, then 1,000 divided by 5 is 200. That is your cost per acquisition. So it actually costs you $200 to get the 1,000, okay? So yes, we're starting out with 1,000, but then we have to take away 200, which is your cost per acquisition to generate that sale. So your real commission is $800 when you're looking at it that way. Okay, $800 now versus $500 on your 50% commission. Hopefully you're following me so far. We're not going to be talking about the overall cost for your leads. That can vary. CPA is really the best way to accurately assess commission on a sale. Now, we're going to start getting into some untangibles that I can't quite put an actual cost on because everybody's answers may be slightly different. And I can't really accurately say how much it costs us because we're doing it on such a large scale that it really doesn't apply to a single individual agent. And here's what I mean. We have to talk about what is the cost of your time to outsource the service of your policies. And here at Tailored Legacy, we provide 3 different approaches for proactive and reactive service on the policies so that you can spend your time selling and generating new business. So we'll try to assess a cost for it. The first thing that we do is provide proactive support to your clients within 24 to 48 hours after they purchase a policy. So they will get a welcome call from a real person, welcoming them to, in our case, Lincoln Heritage, reinforcing the sale, making them feel good about their purchase. And at that point, we're going to ask for if they would like us to help them fill out their final wishes guide. Okay, that's step 1, within 24 to 48 hours. The second proactive reach out is 3 weeks after the policy start date. They get another proactive call to make sure that they got their policy in the mail, that they've opened it, that they've had a chance to review it. Do you want to make any changes? It's our second chance to ask if they want to fill out their final wishes profile. And then we also start asking for referrals, which is going to piggyback on the point number 3 that we talk about. So just that alone, if you had somebody that was an extension of yourself to provide warm outreach, reinforce the sale, and make them feel really good about their purchase, what is the cost for that? Sure, you could do it. I'm sure you send out thank you cards, maybe something else that you do. That's part 1. All right, part 2. We have a reactive support team, meaning when you get notices that you have NTOs, which is not taken out, right? The policyholder didn't make their payment. You're getting lapse notices, chargeback notices, maybe bank account information changes that you have to do and take care of and manage, beneficiary changes, all sorts of things that come up that require your time away from selling to service your clients, right? You're an independent contractor. This is your business. Part of this is servicing your book of business. How much time does that cost you per day? And how much time could you buy back if that was outsourced somewhere else? So we do have a team that will contact all of your policyholders when they lapse NTO. We get replacement notifications that we reach out on your behalf to try to salvage that, and we do an excellent job of it. Okay, that's an untangible cost because everyone's going to have a different answer. The third thing that we do proactively is generate referrals. And I didn't even say with the first part, the proactive reach out attempts, after the 3 weeks post start date, we reach out again in the 3rd month, the 6th month, and month 12. And at month 12, we start to get them thinking about doing a policy review to adding additional coverage, all on your behalf, going on behind the scenes. Okay, so then we have a referral outreach, which is part of the customer outreach, but it is also something we're doing on your behalf to generate more business back to you. That goes back to the agent who signed up the policyholder. Just last week alone, we generated 53 referrals in 2 days. We're typically generating 300 plus referrals per month that are going back to you, right? That are going back to the agent to bring in new business. So you're not always just chasing new leads and creating new relationships. So if you had to put a cost on what that would provide you, I mean, what would you pay to get that time back? Got to come up with a number, right? Do we come up with a number on a monthly basis? Like what would you pay someone per month to do all of that support for you? Well, if you had someone in the US, you're probably going to have a full-time person at maybe $15 to $20 an hour. You do outsource it overseas, you can get it for a lot cheaper than that. So I'll be conservative. And if you have a full-time person doing all of this for your book of business, and I'm really speaking to people that are writing a policy a day, right? 20 apps a month quickly adds up over time. So let's say you decide to pay $2,000 a month for a person to do all of that for you. So $2,000 a month divided by 20 policies, that's $100 per sale that you're going to allocate towards all of this service. And again, you don't have to do it. You could certainly take on all of those hats yourself, but there's still a cost associated with that in regards to your time. So don't discount the fact that just because you're doing it, it's not costing you anything, because it absolutely is in your time. You're not selling when you're servicing, okay? So we have now taken that $800 commission. We've just subtracted another $100 from that to take care of all the service. And we're now at $700, right? So we're comparing a $500 commission to a $700 commission at this point. Finally, there's two other, both tangible and intangible, I guess you could argue, things that you would be able to get on a team like this. The first one is something that not everybody would take advantage of, but it's certainly something I take full advantage of, and that is the opportunity to participate in Lincoln Heritage health insurance program. So they offer an opportunity for their agents to join their group insurance program. They have a Cigna PPO, comes with dental and orthodontics and vision, covers my entire family. I have to qualify for it quarterly, and since I was an agent almost 4 years ago, I have never not qualified for it. So for the full family plan, my out-of-pocket expense for this plan that I am signed up for is $2,700. I have to pay $440 a month towards it, and the company pays the difference. So let's do some math. $2,700 minus $440 is $2,260 times 12. So that is a $27,000 bonus that just because I'm not seeing it in my bank account doesn't mean it doesn't exist, right? Because in the absence of that contribution, I would be having to be paying for it out of pocket. This is a full family plan. It covers myself, my husband, and both my kids. So if I were to take that $2,260 that it's not costing me per month for insurance, I'm going to divide that number again by 20. That's another $113 cost per sale off my sale, right? And we're assuming 20 sales a month. So now I'm going from 700, we'll just call it another 100, make it even, 600. Now we're comparing 500 to 600. And finally, another intangible thing that you're not paying for, but you would if you didn't get it here, would be what is the cost of the type of coaching, training, and support that you get here. And the best way that I can compare the type of training you get from a sales perspective and the one-on-one coaching opportunities you get to participate in would be in comparison to buying Jeremy Miner's NEPQ 3.0 plus going into the inner circle, right? Because you don't get one-on-one attention just buying a portal. You go through a series of modules, and then it's your responsibility to put it all together, develop your own script, and then execute it. So if you want someone to listen to your calls and role play with you, you have to join their inner circle. I don't know how much the inner circle costs today, but I know when I went through the 2.0 portal, if I wanted to join the inner circle, it was $15,000 a quarter. I also don't know how much it costed to just invest in the portal today. But I've heard things anywhere from $4,000 to $7,000, somewhere in there. So here, obviously there's no cost for that. It's included in this program and it never stops. You don't have to continue to pay quarterly or keep getting different modules in order to get the type of training that you would get here. So if we put a number to that, right, let's just call it 5,000. I mean, we'll just be conservative. 5,000 to invest in a program, plus, honestly, 15,000 in a quarter if you were participating in Inner Circle. So that's $65,000 that you do not have to pay to get the type of training and one-on-one attention and support you would get here. We're not going to use $65,000, but it's important that you know the reality of what you do not have to spend in order to get the quality of training that you would get on this team. So we'll just even use it a fraction of the cost, right? Just to get some round numbers. Let's just say you invested $6,000 into the portal. You did nothing else and you had to put everything together yourself. Let's divide that by 12 and divide that by 20. That's another 25 bucks off the cost. If you did do the Inner Circle, 15,000 a quarter, right? That's 60,000 bucks. 60,000 divided by 12 divided by 20, $250 cost per sale, which brings you from 600 down to 350. But I'm not doing that. I'm saying go ahead and take another 50 bucks off of this if you just invest in this training portal. So now you're at $500 for 50% commission. You have no cost associated out of pocket with anything I just described. On the other side now, if you were to try to duplicate everything that we do, you're at 550. And we haven't even talked about the cost associated with the transfers that we provide. So we employ 100 plus transfer agents that call our leads that are older than 90 days, our leads, right? And they try to continue to bring life to them and transfer those to an agent who's licensed in that state. What I'm saying here is, what are you really comparing, right? You're comparing a $500 commission to maybe a $550 commission. And I don't even know if I brought everything up to the surface. I'm not purposely trying to make the broker commission less than ours, because the reality is it probably isn't. So you have to consider and weigh out, what are you willing to give up in order to make your life the way that you want it to be? Do you want to wear all those hats that I just described? Because in order to last in this business long term, you have to wear a big old service hat. You cannot just sell, put blinders on, and sell through the chargebacks. It does not work that way. Your persistency will catch up to you and you'll just be swimming in chargebacks and debt. So you have to think about what it takes to actually run a business and what you have to spend in order to allow you to run it the way that you have to run it. And when it all boils down to it, it really comes out to a very similar end of your bottom line. Now, where it's going to start being a bigger difference on the broker side is that the renewals that you'll get as a broker, if you're doing everything the right way, that will be higher than the renewals you'll get on this lower contract, because everything's lower. But you have to really sit down and decide, make this like pros and cons list. What do I want to get out of this industry? What do I want to get out of this opportunity? What is my goal in a 1 year, 5 years, 10 years? You have to map all that out, decide where you want to place yourself, how much work you want to put into it, because we're not here to screw anybody over. There is a tremendous cost associated with everything that we provide here. And I didn't even mention the fact that I have 4 managers that will jump on your calls for you and help you close your sales when you first start. I mean, can you even put a price tag on that? I mean, you can't. So when you're just looking on the surface of 50% versus 100%, what are you really comparing? I challenge you to take those layers a lot deeper than what you're probably used to looking at it for, and then asking yourself, what is better for you? And if the stuff that I described earlier is a challenge you want to take on and that excites you and motivates you to build this into a business, then that is the direction you should go. But if you want someone to do it for you and you want to look at this more as a job, then this is the place for you. All we require is that you plug in, stay put, follow the script, and put in the work. And if that resonates with you, then feel free to visit us on our website in the description below. You can book a calendar call with me. I can walk you through what the opportunity looks like and if it makes sense for you. Because at the end of the day, I only want people on this team that it makes sense for and they know exactly what they're getting into. Thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big like. Post a comment below if you learned something or if you'd like to challenge me on something. I'm always open to hearing what you have to say. Thanks for watching again, and I'll see you guys later.